What if Skeletor wasn't just a cool idea, but a character your table would never forget? Today we're brewing Skeletor into a fully playable D&D character, breaking down the choices, the flavor, and the mechanics that make them sing at the table. Ever wonder how to play Skeletor as a villain in your campaign? Maybe even the BBEG? We'll show you exactly how. This is how we brew it. Homebrew is where the heart is. It's where dungeon masters, dice goblins, and beautiful chaos gremlins come together to turn sparks into legends. So how do you take an idea, a class, a twist, a backstory hook, a wild mechanic, and turn it into something that actually works at the table? It's simple. We brew it. We've got 6 wonderful categories to walk through, designed to help you build characters that feel alive, playable, and unforgettable at the table. But today, Taylor, our sponsor is D&T. So, Taylor, I'm going to challenge you to do this ad read for D&T as if you were a character in the He-Man universe. We've already done Skeletor, though, so what are you going to do?
I don't know how any of the other characters sound like. I think you should do it. I think you probably, I think you know other characters.
I do. I do have some more.
Yeah.
All right, I am ready to go. I'm going to do this right now.
So proud of you.
Today's episode is sponsored by D&T, the official beverage of Wait. Whose turn is it? Look, every campaign has that moment. The rogue is monologuing, the bard is flirting with the dragon, and the DM has spent 40 minutes describing a door, and somehow your brain has fully left the material plane. That's where D&T comes in. Their blends are basically concentrated tabletop survival juice. Warm, flavorful, calming, and powerful enough to keep you mentally present while your party debates whether killing the shopkeeper is morally gray or not. No matter where you are, whether some strange foreign planet, you can have D&T. Use code TSP for 15% off and support the show. D&T, keeping parties functional since 5 minutes ago.
Love it.
Just gotta embrace the He-Man, you know?
You just gotta embrace it.
I definitely like my in TSP, my pastor voice, my sanctuary steward voice is very He-Man inspired for sure. It's also like the I love you, random citizen kind of voice.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, let's talk a little bit of Brew It. So we're going to go through our categories today of B, base build. What's the mechanical foundation? R, resonance and vibe. This is where our characters get a heartbeat. What's the tone, theme, and emotional texture? E, extra froth. What makes this character pop? A signature move, a strange habit, a cinematic flourish. W, weird for us, that little off-book detail you never find in the standard build guide. I is inner drive. Why do they adventure? What do they want, fear, or feel compelled to prove? And T is what pressure follows them into every scene. Tension. Okay, Taylor, let's start with the base build. If we're going to build Skeletor, what is the essentials, the base build?
If we're going to build Skeletor, what are the essentials? Well, I think the essentials are one thing. A skull for a face. And witty, I shouldn't say witty, just insults. Those are the only 2 things that matter in my opinion. So I don't know. I guess mechanically, see, this is the hard thing because when we talk about it, it's like, are we creating for these characters? Are we creating a playable character that is a bad guy, or are we kind of leaving it open? I feel like Skeletor has to be bad.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty essential for Skeletor to be bad. So I would keep in mind in this scenario that we're probably helping a dungeon master design a BBEG or at least a recurring antagonist, right? Just for people to interact with, unless, because most people are not playing like villainous campaigns, evil campaigns where people are evil on purpose. If you are, Skeletor is an awesome character to play. And of course, if you're watching this content, you're like, oh, I like these ideas, I want to turn it into some sort of like anti-hero or hero, you absolutely can do that. But I would say that's what we're designing for us today, which would be that villain or BBEG or antagonist.
If he's going to be evil, you gotta make him really powerful, but not necessarily always use the things he has. I think that's like super integral to, in my opinion, the base build of who Skeletor is. He has a lot of power. Like, he's a dark sorcerer. He studied the dark arts. So essentially, like, this is one of your sorcerer type of BBEGs that has a lot of magic that can do some crazy things. Mostly disintegrate people. But
yep.
Kind of the big thing is, they're dead. So like
he
that's,
really likes disintegrating people.
yeah, it's kind of his go-to. Like, I don't like it anymore. Like, it's just boom, gone. And he's gotta have henchmen. Like, that's obvious. I don't know if that's like baseball character. To me, it's the baseball as the character, but of having delegation of some sort, henchmen, minions per se. We're using D&D terms. I know we're not making a character, so like using like vicious mockery isn't necessarily a huge thing here, but I don't know if there's a way you want to weave it in. There's something in the fact that Skeletor always has something to say, like
Yes.
always, and it's so funny because half the time it's like, oh yeah, that's like a pretty bad insult. Most of the time it's, you muscle bound dummy, and it's like, you said muscle bound last episode. Like it's the same. It's the same thing. Or you wimp, or you brainless bimbo. Like it's like he's coming up with like really basic but very consistent and constant insults.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny.
So okay, yeah. So like between the two of us, I'm more of the He-Man, Masters of the Universe fan between the two of us. Right?
Yeah.
I watched these growing up more as a kid than you did. And I don't remember a ton about. I always get in my head. I always get Thundercats mixed up with He-Man.
Yes,
but the thing
they feel the same
because they're the same. They're a bunch of warrior adventures out there to go do their thing in order to and foreign planets that are these like exploratory planetoid space epics with guys with swords and sometimes they have fur, sometimes they don't. Because also some of the He-Man companions have fur too. So it's like
yeah.
But the thing that is very distinctive about He-Man is Skeletor, who is truly like one of the greatest villains of all time in terms of just how influential he is, right? Mm-hmm. And like he's like up there in that archetype of like Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers series. More modern versions of him are like Dr. Doofenshmirtz in what's it called, Phineas and Ferb. One of my favorite video game franchises of all time is Ratchet and Clank, and they have Dr. Nefarious, who is a wonderful version of this archetype of character. And this archetype of villain and character is all about the grandiosity. It is all about the yapping, and it is all about how dumb they are. Even though they're very smart, they're also very dumb. Like, there's this, one of my favorite things on the internet is there's this thing published a long time ago on the internet that was like the villain's manifesto, and it just talks about, here's all the things I will not do as if I ever became a villain. And some of them are some of the things are like, I will not have them wear plexiglass visor helmets that makes it impossible for me to tell who is who. So if the hero decides to put on a helmet, I can't tell it's the hero. Like, we're going to show our faces, right? Like, why is having the plexiglass visor more villainous? And like Skeletor fails all 99 manifestos. He fails every single one, which is the best. So I would absolutely say, like, you need the insults, and I would say, like, how are we going to help the GMs build the insult pool and even have it be more funny even? I would, there's a couple suggestions I have, because I actually do think this is core. Like, I don't care what your plot is. I don't care what the storyline is. I don't care if he's the big evil guy. I don't even care if you're playing him as a regular player. I would have like a word bank of words, and then construct insults using word banks by like rolling dice or like whatever, so like there's like a column of 20 insults, and one will just be like big, small, puny, tiny. That's funny. like whatever, and then the next one is muscle bound, like muscle bound, big brained, like sword wielding. Like, you just keep going and just do it over and over, and you just roll to see. Or of course, if you have some good insults at the moment, you can throw it in there, because that is the whole idea of just like amazing, stupid insults that are always on the thing. And he can never not do it. He can't just say like, you idiot, what are you doing? He's like, again, he's, you big brained, muscle bound, sword wielding idiot. How could you? And he can't, he has to do like the multi-point thing. So I would definitely do something like that, build a word bank of that. But yeah, like, I want you to fully lean it in. As someone who's a bigger fan of the franchise, everything you said is correct to me, and I think it's all base build, because it's all about the vibe. It is not it is like his plans change. Why do his plans change? He was a cartoon character designed to sell toys to children.
Yeah.
So therefore, his plans change all the time. In the same way that the loveliness of Saturday morning cartoons, where some like one day we're in Japan doing this thing, and guess what? It's because we're selling these Japanese Asian themed toys this week, and next week we're all American because this is the July 4th release. You know, like it's all pushing that sort of stuff, you know? So how are we going to carefully construct the resonance and vibe of Skeletor, given we say that it's basically the base build?
Yeah, well, I mean, you said it. I think you said it more apt than I could have, but like the vibe is the base build for this guy, right? So it's leaning in. I will say though, I would caution people. Again, you're definitely more of a He-Man person than I am. But when I was a kid, I did watch some of the newer cartoons. A little, like I glanced a couple of them. That Skeletor is not as fun. Just he's less. I don't want to say whimsical, but a little in a way. He's a little more serious and a little more. I'm gonna kill everybody. And that's like not as fun, in my opinion. I don't think that's like the heart, like you said. I don't think that's the vibe of who Skeletor is. I think he's dumb. Like he's not that treacherous. Or at least it's not as fun. I don't know, in my opinion.
Well, so the whimsy part is key here, right?
Yeah.
Like even though it's a weird word to say about a villain, Skeletor is a villain that exists within the context of a whimsical, romping children's adventure designed for young boys between ages like 6 and 12. Right? He is not a villain he's not designed to be like a teenager, right? Like teenage villain, right? So like it's sort of also like, you know, when we watched Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go, and then DC came out with Titans, the like no teen before it, just Titans, and like Robin is murdering people and like, you know, stuff like that, and it's like we don't want that. Like like that's too much. Too much DC / whoever produced that show. Like shame on you for making Robin completely antithetical to his character. He's not Jason Todd. If you made him Jason Todd, then it'd be different, right? But like that's not the world we're sitting in. We're sitting in Saturday morning cartoons, right? Like there's a reason also some of these villains translate to games that are like T and below and like PG and below. It's not supposed to be this thing. So like all of it, and there's actually like some of the ways in the history of when these cartoons were made, right? Like in order to achieve the rating they were wanted so they could be presented to children, right? They had to avoid certain things. So it's why I think, like, for example, Skeletor disintegrates people. It's because he can't kill them. Like he has to disintegrate them, which is different in the minds of children, apparently. Right? And or it's like, so like this is pretty famous in X-Men Adventures 90s, the 97 series back in the day. Like Wolverine, like there's a reason there's a lot of robots in there, because robots aren't people. So Wolverine can just tear apart these robots. But with actual people, he just has to beat them up. He can't actually like stab them, because then there'll be blood and that would be bad for children. Right? And so same way, Skeletor has to disintegrate instead of kill. Like, oh no, he's just sending them, like in Yu-Gi-Oh! You're just sending them to the Shadow Realm.
Exactly.
I said if you lost, you'd be trapped in the Shadow Realm for eternity.
I mean, even in some of the, I think it's one of the movies, one of the He-Man, like older He-Man movies, he disintegrates some of the people and they like fall into a pit. And like, they don't actually like, he's like disintegrating them and they just like, and they fall in and you never see them die. And it's like, what?
Yes. So like all of these little things that they had to kind of get around, like the equivalent of the Comics Code Authority or like the TV guides, in order to actually make it child friendly, which, you know, nowadays, guys, like in retrospect, I don't know if we needed all of that. It's just like, come on, man. Like, but it actually adds to the humor in a great way, right? Yeah. It's just so silly. The whimsy is there. So again, that's the tone of the entire setting. So again, if you're saying like, hey, we're going to play Warhammer 40K as our campaign. Skeletor should not be in Warhammer 40K, right? Like, that doesn't work.
However,
right?
that would be fun.
It would be fun. He would last for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
You know, like he's just not built for that. But he is built for Saturday morning cartoons. He's built for Teen Titans Go. He's built for He-Man, of course. Like, he's built for that sort of stuff. So just to like help shape the conversation, Taylor, like in terms of the vibe, right? Like, we've got the word bank of insults. How else are we going to help our dungeon master play this character and achieve this vibe?
I mean, the voice, you have to get his accent pretty clearly. That's Skeletor for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to practice a lot. Listen, dungeon masters, let's talk for a second. Let's talk about accents. let's talk about this. You don't have to be perfect. But you do have to try. And you have to pick very specific things when it comes to accents. So, for example, I don't know how to do a Russian accent. That's okay. We're not going to do that right now. But when we talk about Skeletor is what? High-pitched. What is your voice high-pitched? What does it sound like when you scream a little? What does it sound like when maybe you need water? You know, like that's a little Skeletor. Like, I'm not now, my voice right now is Skeletor, but I'm gonna back up for this. But if I do it like this, it's close enough. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, and it hurts, and I probably should do that all the time, but it's funny. And if like you have a couple key moments where you just like go, I'm gonna do this high-pitched scream yell that maybe doesn't have to be loud. Maybe you can find a way to make it quiet. I can't. But Kyle can. I can't. But like if you can, you know, practice a little bit more high pitch, make your voice a little bit. There are like tricks to get to the Skeletor feel, as we say, the vibe, the resonance of what Skeletor is. But I think that voice is really integral to who he is because one, it's annoying. And two, and Skeletor is annoying in my opinion, and like in the best way.
He's supposed to be.
Yeah. And two, it's like harsh and shrill, and it's kind of like, we gotta get rid of this guy. Like it's a very like indicative of who he is.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of voice acting things you can do again. And we've talked about this a couple of times, but you don't have to modulate your voice with like an actual accent, right?
Please
what you're really going for is feel, and you can think about multiple ways to go, right? Like, does Skeletor talk fast or slow? Skeletor talks fast, right? He has like a certain cadence if you listen to him, where again he'll do the "you muscle-bound, big-brained, sword-wielding idiot," right? Like that's his cadence. So he has like dramatic little pauses and everything he says, but his actual words are fast. You can practice that, like as opposed to, you know, like a character who talks like this and could say you're a big-brained, muscle-bound, sword-wielding idiot.
Right.
And I didn't really change much about, I can do this fast or the slow, and then we went high pitch, which everyone can do, and it's also even funnier if you have a very low voice and you try it. It's just funnier if you do. And then you can be loud or soft. You can kind of try to speak more from your nose as opposed to like more from your lungs. And if you have used less air as you talk, those types of things are things to practice and get better at this type of voice. And honestly, guys, after you've done the word bank of insults and you have a high-pitched, shouty kind of voice that does something like this, you will be set to play Skeletor in terms of the resonance and vibes. Yeah. So let's actually just move on. So because that's actually all we really need.
Right.
It's
like, what else?
Which is so funny for Skeletor. Yeah. But that's it in terms of the resonance and vibe. The except for maybe, Taylor, that we just need to make sure that everyone knows that you're going to give him a very stupid, dumb plot, right? And I would, so like, actually, you know what? Let's talk about that. And that's going to be our, it's going to be the inner drive sections. Like, why do they adventure in the first place, or why are they doing what they're doing? But this will also probably touch a little bit of the weird for us and extras and stuff, because the extra froth, because we're going to talk about like, why do they do what they do?
Yeah.
And I like, basically Skeletor wants in the actual comics or in actual show wants to just take over the big castle, the Dark Castle or whatever, because it's Castle Grayskull, because it has the power to unlock the world, basically. What is the exact power of Castle Grayskull?
It's different in a lot of different places.
Right. But the point is that the child can decide when they play with the actual toy Castle Grayskull, this is what the thing is. And it's got something to do with the world or the universe at stake, right? So again, this is also why we didn't like work on like mechanics or anything for what the thing is. It doesn't matter. It's like, okay, like whatever you want the plot to be. But the best version of this is if his goal is stupid, is dumb, or his plan is deeply flawed, right? So, Taylor, how are we going to construct a deeply flawed, silly, or stupid plan that will like get our table laughing, and also that we can play with like full commitment to the bit?
There's always been, for what I think I find funny about Skeletor is the idea that he's always been frustrated with the fact that his minions don't do the job. Like
yes.
That is one of the funniest things about him is that
yes.
He's like, I have all these people who can help me and I tell them to help me and they don't do it the way I want them to do it, and then I insult them, but then I tell them to help me again. Like it's like he never like there's no turnover in with him. There's just, you suck. Okay, now then on to the next thing. So I think what would be funny in my opinion, for Skeletor is if his inner drive is finding new minions. Like to me, that's funny. And like, of course he's going to get the power, like go to Castle Grayskull for all the power. He can open a door to another place where he can get new friends. Like which is like such a funny want for someone like Skeletor of like, I need new employees. I'm taking over. Like I just need them. Even if that becomes, hey He-Man friends, you need a job. Like that's like,
you need a job. Yes,
it could go so many ways, and it's so broad because he's so desperate as a villain that like that, and that's like, we didn't talk about that, but I think that is a part of his key, his vibe is him being desperate. He's so desperate. He's so anything. He'll do anything to get what he wants.
Not only do anything, but like he like if he does not get the thing, he will lose it. Like he is so desperate. Yes.
Yeah. So I think like when it comes to inner drive, it has to be something that he'll do anything for, and even if that means recruiting the good guys. So like I do think it's funny. Like if again, like Kyle said, you can do whatever, right? Like you said, man, we can. Skeletor can, the plot of the game could be whatever you want as a DM.
Right.
But the funniest thing would be if Skeletor's trying to find new minions. Because that's hilarious.
I think that's so brilliant too, and I think it helps us drill down into again who he is more, and what makes some of the best moments happen is again like his like why does he not get new employees?
He never does.
He never does, right? Like how come? You know, and this is always the situation too within that villain's manifesto of like everyone in the villain manifesto needs to be able to pass a basic like high school GED level test, and none of Skeletor's minions can pass this test.
They're all dumb,
right? And so like my thought was for like a brief moment was like maybe he just thinks of his minions as family, and that's why he can't fire them, but I think it's way funnier if you're like, oh, no. He thinks these guys suck and he wants to find the next version, because also like one of the best things too would be to trick Skeletor into thinking you can help him. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm competent. I'm here to help you. I've been seduced by your great ego and your evil plans, and I'm ready to serve you. And he's like, oh my gosh, an actually competent minion, you see? And like, you know, and then he would totally buy it because he's so dumb, right? And like his ego and his greatness kind of like get in front of his vision for anything and everything. Okay, then just the extra frost / weird for us stuff, Taylor, which like those little unique things that we want to add in that's not necessary, but like we'll talk about it. Let's design one of his minions.
Oh my goodness. Okay. We have to design one of his minions. I don't know what a lot of the current minions look like.
It doesn't matter. We just need somebody that's a punching bag. We need the Igor. What are you doing? They like that kind of character, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So physically, he needs to be like all robot, except his face is like some kind of beast that's in this like a nondescript bestial face. You know what I mean? Like there's fur, teeth, nose, but everything else is a machine. Which I think is funny. Because then in my mind, it's like he mass produces minions in like a closet somewhere. And then I need this minion to like be really strong, but misinterpret everything Skeletor says by like 1 or 2 words.
Yes.
So Skeletor's like, I need you to go steal that sword. And he goes, God, I don't even know how to change that into something crazy. He goes, okay.
He goes and buys the sword, and he says, I put it on the company credit card.
Yeah, he's like,
he's
I bought
now
the sword.
I'm broke. What do you mean?
Right. He's like, you told me to go buy the sword. No, steal the sword. Oh. Well, we have the sword. It's like, oh, God. It's like, that's not what I wanted. Oh my goodness, exactly. Oh my gosh.
So like, the one of the evil warriors that serves the cause of Skeletor is Beastman, who's like the one who's the right-hand man. He controlled wild animals. That would work. There's Trapjaw, who you're probably maybe thinking of too, is a cyborg with a metal jaw and robotic arm. They can turn into different weapons. You kind of combine Trapjaw and Beastman into one guy. So we can just call him Trapman or Beastjaw or something.
Yeah. I'm like thinking of like a cyborg version of like a bugbear.
Yep, cyborg
like
version of a bugbear.
You know what I mean?
That's right. Yep.
Because bugbears kind of look like that weird minion humanoid creature that you would want if you were a bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, so you can even use the bugbear stat block too, which is very simple.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just flavor them with like different weird quirks and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like another famous one is Evelyn or Evil Lyn, is like his other right-hand man, but like right-hand woman. And she's like an evil sorceress of some kind, which just basically does Skeletor stuff, but like just not as good.
Yeah, there was like this I actually read about as opposed to saw, but there was like one of the versions of Skeletor and Evelyn, they were like in love.
Yes, that is technically a possibility. You can have that happen too.
That might be fun.
What I would always say too is if you want to do the villain, like the henchman who's in love with the villain, it can be a combination of like for a villain like Skeletor, who's like, oh, this is a nice stroke of his own ego, because although he acts extremely egotistical, he's extremely insecure. Right, so like it's nice stroke of ego, but also he's kind of off put by it. He's like, I don't like just get the stuff done. We don't need to have tea together. I need you to go and steal the sword. Like that sort of thing. Like the romance gets in the way of his plans, and he doesn't understand the concept in some ways. That's fun for sure. And then on the flip side, having the henchman who's deeply in love can see absolutely no flaws in him whatsoever. And just praises him in the most ridiculous of ways. That is the best. Like a minion who's like, who's the fastest man in the world? Skeletor. Who's the most attractive man in the world? Skeletor. Who's the strongest man in the world? Skeletor. Like everything to like a most ridiculous level.
Okay, wait. No, to double down on that, just because I think it's funny. Do you have that minion? But so that like every time, now, it's funny because we're like creating almost like a party, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe you guys could actually play bad guys. That would be fun.
I would love that. That would be great.
Yeah. Shout out Dimension 20 that did a whole season of that. Bloodkeep. Anyway, but I think it would be funny if this minion, who's like basically praises / loves Skeletor, every time he compliments him, it's when he's like in a rant about something else. So he's like,
yes.
You know who frustrates me? The guy who's like super strong with the big sword. You? No, He-Man, what? It's like, I'm not super strong. Like, who is the hero of this world? You are, Skeletor. No, He-Man! Like, what? I'm gonna fire you if you do that again. Like, it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, who's that big blonde oaf? He-Man, you, Skeletor. No, it's He-Man. God dang it.
So yes. So only compliments Skeletor and professes love at inconvenient times.
Oh, horribly inconvenient times.
Especially during monologues.
So funny.
So we've got our inner drive, weird for us, extra for us, resonance and vibe and base build. As the last thing is tension, I don't know. Do you think we've covered that already? T for tension. What pressure follows them into every scene?
I mean, the ticking clock, the rival is always He-Man, so it doesn't really. I mean, I think that's just an obvious more or less than have we covered it yet.
Okay.
It's just the friction is always He-Man. Like he's just always there, you know?
You're racing against the clock against He-Man to like capture Castle Grayskull or to do whatever the plan is. The other thing I would say is in every single room that Skeletor walks into, he wants to prove that he's the strongest, but through his intellect. So mainly, okay, he's the smartest guy in the room. So that part is also some of his inner tension, but I think it's mostly just the race against the clock. Okay. Then we've built it all out. In summary, as we design Skeletor, we're building like a BBEG or recurring antagonist. But, I mean, if you want to run it as a villains campaign, we would love to see you do that. Please comment below if that you do that, because those are cool campaigns. What are the base build essentials? You need a skull mask, a lot of power that he doesn't actually use because he's kind of an idiot. And you need an insult. So build a word bank of insults so you can insult all of the dumb minions that are still in your employ. Because the tone is Saturday morning cartoon, so the stakes are low and stupid. If you want to do some great voice work here, again, focus on some high-pitched voices, maybe a little bit more like shouty, or project your voice more, and practice speaking quickly and in a high-pitched voice as you try to imitate a little bit more of that Skeletor feel. One of the key things, of course, as we kind of mentioned, is that Skeletor always is ordering around minions, and they fail, and then he insults them. So we need some really good minions to do so. We've designed that half-man, half-machine Beast Jaw minion who always misinterprets everything Skeletor says by one or two words. And then the henchman who is in love or praises and absolutely sees no flaws in Skeletor, but can only bring up his strengths and compliments him only during the most inconvenient times, such as during monologues, which is amazing. And Skeletor's inner drive is to find competent help, and the tension is, will he be defeated by He-Man? Will he be able to prove he's the smartest in the room? Will he find the competent help he actually seeks? Find out next time on whatever your campaign is called. But that will help you build Skeletor, and we've just brewed him up. Taylor, any final thoughts as we close up this episode?
No, just, hey, no pressure on that voice, everybody. It's okay.
Yes. Just as we said, it is much more important that you bring energy to the table than if you bring an accent. So, but we believe in you, and you can do some voice work. Everyone can do a little bit of voice work.
YouTube voice work.
Yeah. You could just literally Google it / YouTube it, and
it's all free.
It's all free. There's a lot of great courses out there, and there's some really great ways to help break stuff down and help you figure out all what it looks like. So, anyway, thanks for watching this video, and if you like this video, you can like and subscribe for more content like this.
This is how we brew it.
Jurassic Park, How to Train Your Dragon, The Princess Bride, Inception, Matrix, Mad Max, Fury Road, John Wick, Ghostbusters, Pokemon, Hunger Games, 28 days later.
Hey there, just want to shout out to our patrons. Thanks so much for subscribing on Patreon and supporting the show. Thanks to Count Bubba, Fizz, Fedorable Will, Richard, Varner Jr., and Who's Scruffy Looking.